on. Next 4.
You can already see the difference. They've been in now. They've done their basic infantry training. They'll be pretty fit by now. Well, this guy, he's smashing it. A lot of these courses are all to do with confidence too, more so than strength, fitness, all combined.
You gotta want it. Just jump. Belt buckle on top of the log. Belt buckle wasn't on top of the log.
That would be quite hard.
You gotta want it. Just jump. There you go.
Easy. Now obviously, School of Infantry Singleton has a similar sort of obstacle course as does Credka basic training.
Let's go. Feet outboard, then inboard. Let's go.
Normally
Feet your
they
body.
make it a race between the two people.
Feet inboard, feet outboard. Let's go. Feed him. Feet inboard. There you go. Get over the bar.
This guy is killing it though, on the left. Oh, I've seen this. This looks quite hard. Especially if you had tight arms.
Hands out forward. Keep it tight to your chest.
Hand over hand. Hand over hand.
Nope, do not tuck your head. No swing. Do not tuck your head. Just swing. Keep yourself tight. Are you good?
Nothing else. Get on the rope.
Utilize the two breaking system we taught you.
Go in.
Beat him.
Beat him up there.
So you can see here the correct sort of way to climb a rope is to make a knot with your boot and then use that as a ladder sort of thing.
Nope, around. Hey, go the.
It's a bit of a safety thing as well.
Easy day.
By the end of your training, you can normally do it just with your hands, but you're not meant to.
Right here. Jump over that little low wall.
By itself, the courses aren't too bad, but it's the fact that you've had bugger all sleep, been cleaning weapons all night, something like that.
Let's go. Get your belt buckle up on the log. Motivation.
In the Australian Army, it was high knees, boots to glutes, 2 foot landing. This looks slippery as fuck. Get up there.
Swing him up. Swing him over. Grab dirt on the way down.
During your training, you don't really want to be the guy that stands out, completes everything first. You tend to gain a lot of attention.
Yeah, you can go. Just push right.
Try to be the grey man, but it's pretty hard to do that.
Alternate your legs. Alternate your legs. Now your feet go right. There you go.
This looks brutal, this part. Gotta do basically a muscle up and then... Yeah, I don't know about that thing. You can see there they're using the rope that they've created to stand up on. Just doesn't allow your arms to be used as much. I will just stop and quickly say that I didn't actually go through Australian School of Infantry, so I did full-time basic training and then decided to go to the Army Reserves. So the way I did my training was 2-week blocks of 4 2-week blocks of 2-week set of time training, and each block would have different slots of training. Similar to this, and you still end up with the same qualifications, just takes a bit longer.
Well, that works, I guess.
And if you're not
Hold on, I didn't see that.
if you're not committed to being a reservist, you probably won't make it.
No promises. That's something.
Reservists don't ever finish their training. This thing looks so slippery, and then to jump from that.
That's hard. Hold. Swing. Low profile, grab dirt.
Yeah. That probably doesn't look like it, but every movement they make is being judged. Whether they have 2 feet landings, whether they do what they're told, feet go left, feet go right. Yeah, see, he's alternating there. You got to try and be somewhere in the middle, not the fastest, not the slowest, just the guy in the
Now
middle.
your legs are gonna come towards me. There you go. Let's go, Marine. Get over it. Get over the log.
Let's go, open bar.
This
Open
bit-
bar.
I mean, I probably could have done it when I was at my fittest, but far out, man. It'd be scary to do. It's lots of confidence, of course.
Pull yourself up. Let's go. There's an open bar right there. Just go to ropes. Go to ropes.
I must admit, I found the method of using the rope as a ladder a bit harder.
Come on, get up.
I had stronger upper body, so I was just, much to the despise of the recruiting instructors, I'd often just climb up with my arms.
Go. Keep up with the leg.
Okay. So you can see the difference now between the last video we watched of the all arms combat training. A lot faster now, probably a lot heavier packs. That looks like a mortar tube, 81mm mortar. Someone correct me, I know nothing about mortars. But we don't learn how to fire a mortar at basic infantry school. That would be a specialisation that you go off to do once you arrive at your unit.
No, to that point. While you are dropping your pack. Bill, hurry up, get that sight out. Get it over here, get the bore sight out.
Someone can tell me whether this is their specialisation that they're going into, or whether or not all Marines in the infantry learn to fire these weapon systems. Because if so, that's pretty cool.
Let's go.
So everyone's carrying a piece.
Upside. Push it up. Push it up. Push it up. Oh, yeah, we go.
Yes, sir.
Combat instructors that are going to be on your gun
Safety
will
suit.
tell you what target to go for. Good.
Yes, sir.
All right, hey, Dud Pit. Dud Pit's going to be located 50 meters off the berm, right over there on the right-hand side of the range. Good. Yeah.
I think he's
Who's
talking
gonna do
about
the
UXOs.
Hang it. Yeah, bro. That's driving towards us and the troops off to the right hand side of it. Yes, sir. Get up on that fucking target. Bryce.
I have a pretty good understanding of what's going on.
Hang on, two. Fire. This is that empty can, right? Half load. And fire.
So, wow. That was a very fast fire rate. That would be something, well, I I'd expect that to be an emergency, all alarms call for fire. But yeah, in the Australian Army, you definitely don't learn this during your infantry course. You'd get to your unit and you'd go and join a mortar platoon or DFSW platoon or reconnaissance sniper platoon, whatever you're specialised in. Normally, they'd want you at the unit for 1 or 2 years before you went off to specialise. It's normally a company size, so a platoon of mortars or a platoon of DFSW. But yeah, I'd really like to know if this is part of every Marine infantryman's training or just for specialised MOSs. I love that crumb sound. Never miss that. So it looks like they're rotating through the jobs of aiming, being the number 2, number 3. Also, what size mortar is this, if anybody can tell me? That's a lot of bombs quickly.
Halfway. Hey, fire.
You can see they must be training in it because they've got the range DS here. So unless they've gone off to become the platoon mortarmen, who knows?
5, 6, 7. That's you. Throw your sight to the blast. Half load.
Left look. Heading.
Fire.
It's like he's checking for anything wrong. He must arm it. He aims it. Which I've got no clue how to aim a mortar.
Half load.
Left look. Heading.
Fire.
Heading.
Fire.
This guy laying over the base plate.
Half load.
Left look. Heading.
Fire.
Right, so it looks like 40mm grenade training.
Sure.
We were definitely trained in this. We didn't have these crack rounds from what I remember.
Open.
I remember doing all... Yeah, we didn't have anywhere near this amount of practice, but we did do a lot of PowerPoint presentations on it. A lot of dry firing, but yeah, no crack rounds that would fire off like this. And then I think we had to fire 5 or so HE gold tops and hit a target within a certain amount of space. So grenade launcher becoming a very important weapon in wars like Afghanistan and whatnot. I did find it very difficult to aim though. We had the hollow sights for our underslung GLAs.
Close.
Fire when ready.
Shot landed in the same spot. Go about 5 meters right.
Alright, see what it looked like when it exploded? Alright, now you don't see it.
I must say, having a guy sit with you and go through everything while you're doing it does make you a lot calmer. Because before this, you haven't touched this weapon system. You've learnt about it, you've seen how it operates, but you haven't got hands-on. it always helps to have someone beside you. And by this stage, they're normally a bit more friendlier than they are at sort of basic training.
I don't need to see what it looks
Well,
like.
in the Australian
So every
Army.
time you pull the trigger, start reloading. Good to go.
Close.
I think we fired smoke rounds as proof rounds.
Alright, reload.
I think.
Good. Reload. Good. Reload. Over. Safe. Perfect hit. Close. Close. Good. Reload. Safe. Low. Close.
Everything he's doing is very precise.
Open.
Safe.
Close.
Close. Take safety off. It's cool to see how,
Alright, aim a little lower next time.
yeah.
Open.
It's a lot more training than what we had. I'll have to admit that.
Close.
Good. Reload.
In an Australian section, well, back in 2008, 2012, we would have 2 of these underslung GLAs in a section, normally given to like a scout or someone in the rear.
Good. Reload. Open, safe, low, close. Good to go.
Yes, sir.
Reload. Hit. Aim a little bit lower. So everyone else has aimed that spot, has been hitting. So aim just a little bit lower still.
ACOG, peck on there.
There you go. Alright, aim at that same spot every single time from now on. Gonna go.
Pretty close. I think the 40mm GLA underslung grenade launchers have I think it's 30 meters before they will actually be able to detonate. They've got 30 meters of flight before they will, activate their explosives.
Reload. Hit. Okay, hold these.
Yeah, so
When you're reloading, so you shoot, right?
Yeah.
When you reload, you don't have to do this, alright? No, that. All you do, put in your chicken wing, open, save, load, close, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, I don't know what all this shit is. None of that, alright?
So some of these little tidbits of information I give you are so helpful, but then you can get a complete dick that will just pull you up on everything.
Straight downrange, chicken wing,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
Good, reload.
Little bit of a story for you. We
Good, good.
had underslung grenade launchers for both my deployments, both
Safe.
my peacekeeping deployments. However, we used the M79 one back then
Hit.
for right situations,
Get him kneeling.
purely for the fact that we didn't want to be pointing a rifle at a crowd of people. It would only intensify things a bit. Even though you're still pointing at a big ass shotgun looking thing at them and shooting gas, doesn't look as bad as pointing a rifle at a crowd. So yeah.
Reload.
Open. Safe.
Aim a little bit lower than last time. Shot over.
Aim all right.
Still, son!
Open. Load.
That's a gold dog.
Clear it out.
Do it again!
What? Is that what he's aiming at? I hope so. That's
Oh, yeah. Area fire weapon, right?
That's fine.
So again, while we're trained on, this is GPMG Mag 58, what we call in Australia. While we're trained on this, every infantryman's trained on it. This looks like a DFSW or direct fire support weapon, platoon or section. Only because the guns are somewhat. Have a look. Yeah, so the guns are what they call fixed limits, so they're sandbagged down and they'll fire generally in one direction, and someone will give you an order and you'll pull the trigger. Not every infantryman in Australia is qualified to be in DFSW, however, we do learn how to set the gun and how to fire it and all that sort of stuff.
When you open it, head down and away.
It's hard work when you've got rounds everywhere trying to reload one of these things.
Now you can ride the charge handle forward. Now load, make it as you want. Target number 2.
Okay.
So this would, in the Australian Army, would be probably a platoon size element of DFSW.
Alright, visual inspection, visual inspection.
You can
Good.
shoot, I can't,
Alright,
I think
go
it's
home
up
on
to
the
2 Ks away with the Mag 58.
Good.
Harassing
Keep it
fire.
low. Good. Alright.
You got number one gunner who will shoot the thing. Let the number 2 when he needs to reload, depending on what the unit SOPs are. Number 2 will generally load, keep security for themselves, check ammunition, you know, that sort of stuff.
Go up 10, right 5.
As you can see, they're machine guns, but they're not going full auto. You do controlled bursts, 3 to 5 rounds.
Go right 10.
You can see there.
Right 5.
He was when you're reloading the machine gun, you have to check the actual barrel to see if there's a round in there. Otherwise, you can get it. They can sometimes get too hot and rounds will cook off and explode in your face. So first thing you do is open it up, check the barrel, and slap the rounds on.
Right 10. Go up 10, right 5.
Yeah. So we would
Go
use
left 10.
those guns without the bipod. So this is definitely something like a DFSW role.
Engage.
How much recoil that bike? Try. Sorry.
Yo, out ammo.
Come on, yo.
We should lift this up now.
What do you gotta do?
Alright, he's already
Place the weapon on fire. Pull the trigger. Oh, got it?
So that's pretty well equipped too.
You are gonna help direct her, alright?
So we only ever had the what do we have? We only ever had iron sights on the GPMG, and on the Minimi we'd have the standard OG style, Oz style donut sight, the donut of death. This looks like a pretty long range sight with a hollow sight at the top in case things get a bit closer.
You ain't gotta touch that, man. Just utilize the elevation hand wheel.
Love that sound.
Too far out. Okay. That charging handle. Now, so you just the last target was one. That's one by itself at the 400, right? Yes. So I want you to go further back to those double targets. Right, you're going a little too far, so I need you to bring it down.
To give you an idea of how powerful these are, even though it's 7.62, it's a big heavy weapon. We had a guy that was probably a head taller than me. At the time I weighed at 105 kilos and was full of muscle. This guy was like double my size, and he thought he'd have a go of shooting a Mag 58 or this GPMG standing up, and he embarrassed the shit out of himself because he shot it from his shoulder and nearly fell over. Big heavy weapon to patrol with, which you do sometimes, and yeah.
About 5 clicks.
All the way, put on safe. All the way to the rear.
I haven't seen them change barrels yet either.
Pull trigger. Target. Now close the feed tray cover. Clear out the feed tray. Get all that trash out of the way.
Oh, forget all this stuff. You normally have a heap of link there you need to clear away, or old man. You can see the guns are talking to each other
pull,
too.
push, engage on the handle. Fire! Fire, you! Right, go off to the left. Bring it to the right. About 4 minutes.
Do it again when it comes up.
Put your head down.
Making me keen to go back. Right. This is a new Marine HK416. I don't fully understand it. It's meant to replace every role, I think. So it's the general purpose battle rifle, the marksman rifle, and also there's designated full auto gunners carry more ammunition. Whether or not that's dependent on the situation and they still take the LMG with them, I'm not sure, but yeah, it seems odd that they only take the 416. I suppose maneuverability wise they've got a lot more, so this is the sort of training that we did a lot of, patrolling out in the bush. Close. So they're setting up a all-round defence. Every man has a job. They are very close, but in close country I guess it's a bit hard. When you're that number 1 scout and you don't see the enemy, it's a bit embarrassing.
You have to cross the road.
We would nav check by the scene.
So what do you also need to be doing? You need to assign.
Gain.
Yeah, we did a lot of navigation training.
Yep.
Thing about nav is it can be you can fuck it up pretty easy if you just don't trust your bearings. If you trust your bearings and follow it, you're gonna get to where you're meant to be. If you start questioning where you're going, it's when you get lost. He must be the marksman. Got the bipod there, or the gunner. So jealous of the gear that soldiers have these days. So this is an obstacle crossing. They'll put up defence both ways. One team will cross, and then they'll do the same. Yeah, same as us. What are we doing, Chad? This would resemble something like an area of operations patrol. Wasn't very well done. So it looks like they're advancing into contact now. They know that they're going to hit contact, so they're advancing into it. Still a bit close, but...
Alright, team, what are we doing?
Just a quick reason, the reason why you advance to contact like that is, and not in arrowhead or any other formation, it's so that you can instantly lay down and start firing back. Not get the jump. Not let them get the jump on you.
Fire and move! Let's go! Fire and move! Fire and move! Let's go!
This video is going to go forever, but now they're in a stage of the attack, I think. It looks like they're in a reorg, so in the Australian Army, the Section 2 IC will go around and ask how much ammunition and redistribute who needs more, who needs what, any injuries, stuff like that.
You took contact, guiding your team leaders. In real world scenario, you would have a radio with all your team leaders, and then you would tell them, hey, third team, whatever, cover and move. But you gotta remember the bigger picture, right? So I went ahead and called it out, fire and move.
Hey, click a cinnamon. Hey, I'm taking over Dembo squad, and we will be en route.
You'll go out for all day and just do this day after day for weeks.
We're here. We need to go back there. That was that's where we ended up at.
Right, guys, I'm aware that that video went pretty long. What do you guys think? If anyone has any more information on the specialisation of the mortar teams and the DFSW, let me know, because that's something that you would go off to specialise once you got to an infantry regiment in Australia. Pretty impressive training, pretty impressive kit. I think all Western countries have come pretty far since the start of the Afghan war. Thanks, guys, and see you next time.